There we go. So I want to share with you, thank you for the very kind words of introduction, Steve. I really want to share with you a perspective on some of the most important, for me, ideas about leadership. 3 short ideas about leadership and perhaps about continuing the incredible energy that you all bring to this amazing machaneh. It was my first time at Camp Stowe, my first Shabbat, and what an unbelievable Shabbat and unbelievable energy. And the energy of leadership is palpable at this camp. I want to share 3 ideas about leadership very briefly, which to me, leadership is something I study, it's something I try and live by, both to lead my own personal life and to play a leadership role with others. And I think there are 3 major principles that I want to share with you. To my mind, perhaps the 3 most important principles of leadership. Number 1, I've never ever met a leader in any area who didn't have this quality. And in Hebrew, it's 2 words. It's called meshugal adavar. In Hebrew, they call it a positive meshugana, right? If you don't believe in something absolutely passionately, that you aren't prepared to commit day and night and everything between to that, you're not going to achieve anything. You cannot achieve anything great in any area of life if you don't give it heart, body, and soul. I play a lot of sports and follow sports, and there's a leading a person who introduced the whole business of sport. A person who came to sports, men and women in the 1960s and 70s, and said, "I'll represent you. I can see sports is going to be a big business. I want you to just play sports. What I'll do is I'll handle your business contracts, your TV contracts, your promotional contracts, your brand management." All before this began. All you need to do is play sports. I'll take a small cut and I'll make you super wealthy and you can do the things that you want to do. This man's name is Mark McCormack. He started something called McCormack Industries. My father had this book on his shelf and I read it. It made a big impact on me. The name of the book was The 110% Solution. He said, "I've never met a sportsman or woman who was the top of their game, who didn't give not 100%, 110%. Everything you've got. If you're not so deeply committed, you're not going to stand out. You're not going to make the big impact that you can." And I realized, when I read this, I was thinking about a number of years ago, that's what Hashem demands of us in our relationship with Him. And you all know this, we say it every day and it doesn't make sense. We say Shema Yisrael every single day, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. And Hashem says, "V'ahavta Hashem Elokecha." I want your passion and your love. How much must you be invested in your Yiddishkeit and your connection to Hashem? V'ahavta Hashem Elokecha. B'chol levavcha, with all of your heart. Everything you got. Chazal say, Yetzer Tov, Yetzer Hara. Everything you got. All of your heart. B'chol nafshecha. Even your life. God forbid a person has to give up their life for God. The Jews have had to do that, unfortunately. I want everything during your life, and even God forbid you're dead. Now I'm asking you, what's more than that? What more can you give God than your whole life, your heart and soul? What more is left? What's the next word? What is mo'odecha? What does even the word mean? With all of your ma'od. What does that mean? The rabbis struggled with that. They didn't know what the word meant. Give it all your heart, give it all your soul, even your soul, and all of your ma'od. What does it mean? And I think the pshat of it means, as Americans say, it's a term I learned, only Americans say this. I think I grew up in South Africa, we didn't have this expression. You say, you've got to do something, and then some. You know that expression? Yeah, and then some. Give everything you've got, and more. But there's nothing. I've given everything. You've given everything, you've never given everything. No matter how much you give some more. All of your might. What is might? What is all of your ma'od? The Hebrew word ma'od means ma'od, more, a lot, more, ma'od. Give everything you've got, and then even more. Give heart, body, and soul, and even more. I mentioned I've got 2 sons in the Israeli army, and they tell me, "Dad, there's an expression in the army, as you know, in halakha, there's something called fleishik, milchik. You've got something which is meaty, milky, and then there's something called parav. In life, there's no room for parav. You don't get anything in life for parav. That's why it doesn't even have a definition in halakha. You've got meat, milk, and something called parav. But that we know. He said in the army, there's no room for chalav. In Israel, they say to her, "Al tiyeh chalavi." Don't be chalavi. What, you're going to milk the cow? You shech the cow. You don't milk the cow, right? We want sweat, blood, and tears. We want sweat, blood, and tears. We don't want milk. For the vegetarians, I meant that in a metaphorical way. Right? Meaning, you want heart, body, and soul. They say in the army, Al tiyeh chalavi, don't be milky. Fleshing, we want your basar, we want your muscle, we want your oomph, we want your strength. And therefore, the first principle is you want to succeed in anything in life, you have to give heart, body, and soul. This Shabbat, I saw and felt heart, body, and soul. You feel it at this camp. You feel it. It comes from the top. It comes all the way through. Everybody in this camp has heart, body, and soul. You give everything you've got and more. You can sing for an hour. You can sing for 2. You can sing for more. You can love it. You can do everything more. You can come at quarter past, I don't know what time it is, between camp time, Israel time, and real time, or whatever it is. Okay? Whatever time of night you come and you give heart, body, and soul. So number one, I want you to say, you cannot achieve anything in life if you are not absolutely passionate, committed, dedicated. You give everything you've got, and then some basar, everything you've got. Number one. Number two, I'll say this in one line. The second most important quality in my mind that you have to succeed at anything is genuine care and concern for the people that you are hoping to lead. Firstly, yourself. If you don't care about yourself, the person doesn't. That's why it says, "V'ahavta recha kamocha." You cannot love other people if you despise yourself. You'll just project all your insecurities onto other people. You've got to have care and concern for yourself. Don't forget about yourself. But you know what? To have a real impact on people, you have to genuinely care. There's an amazing expression in English I saw. I don't know who said this, but I think it's so powerful. I'm sure many of you have heard it. It says, "I don't care how much you know until I know how much you care." I don't care how clever you think you are and how much you think you know. You want to come and teach me? Before I care about how much you know, do I know that you care about me? Do you see me? Do you know what my issues are? How can you love me if you don't know who I am and what I need? Do you genuinely see me? In relationships, the most important thing, people want to be seen. Can you see me? I know that one of the great rabbis at the time, I stood on his grave in Poland, one of the great rabbis of 100 years ago, was Rav Soloveitchik's father, grandfather of Chaim Volozhin. When the yeshiva of Volozhin closed down in the 1890s, he was one of the Rosh Yeshiva, and he was known as a genius in Ilui, and Gaon, Rav Chaim Brisk. Sorry, not Rav Chaim Volozhin, sorry, Rav Chaim Brisk. Chaim Volozhin was the founder of the Volozhin Yeshiva. Rav Chaim Brisk was with an attempt the Rosh Yeshiva Volozhin. He was an absolute genius that's well known, the Brisker. And you know what he said? He said he wants only 2 words written on his grave. Of course, people didn't listen, they wrote a lot more, but it is the first thing that's written on his grave. It's in the Warsaw ghetto, in the Warsaw cemetery. He says, when I pass away, I only want 2 words to be written on my grave. I want to be known as Rav HaChesed, the Rabbi of kindness. Not the genius of Torah and all of these things. He said the role of a rabbi, he said, is not only to teach Torah primarily, it's not only to paskin halakha, it's primarily to look after the orphans and the widows, the people who are defenseless. He was such a Baal Chesed, and he said, I want to be known as the Rabbi of Chesed. That's right. I want to say another thing I saw over here in this amazing camp is the absolute care and concern of all of you, for your chanikim, chanichot, for all of the people that you, whatever you're doing. I'm going to learn, I'm going to have a grand class tomorrow for Yaakov and Esti and get to know the whole church. I'm still trying to work out the village and the Tugar and the port and the Yad, whatever. All the and all of you, but I'm going to learn the Tugar, everything. I'm going to learn everything tomorrow. I'm going to try to teach it all together. But at the end of the day, each and every one of you, each and every one of you, is that the plug? Never mind, I'll work it out tomorrow, okay? And each and every one of you have a genuine care ultimately about the participants, the chanikim, the chanichot, and that's also unbelievably palpable in the care and concern. And finally, I want to say, the final thing is, and this is something I've come to learn in my own life, is that never forget about yourself. Don't lose yourself in giving to others. Because the most important person's life that you have to lead is your own. And true Jewish Torah leadership means you lead yourself, and I've got many proofs of this, many sources, that you have to lead yourself. Don't forget about yourself. Lead yourself and lead others. Don't forget about your health. Don't forget about your personal growth, your Torah learning, your personal growth, growing as an individual. Constantly work and grow. Don't forget about yourself in your broader role, because sometimes you lose yourself and there's nothing left of you. And therefore you have to, I always call this that there's two tikkunim a person has to do in the world. We're all called to this world to do two primary tikkunim. Tikkun atzmi, what the Baalei Musar say, to try and make ourselves the best version of ourselves we can be, tikkun atzmi, and tikkun olam, as we say in our language Shabbat, the tikkun olam, the Malchut Shakai. We want to make the world a better place. There's two, use of our sexist words, there's two fractures we want to heal. We want to be the best version of ourselves, tikkun atzmi, and tikkun olam, to heal a fractured world, to make the world the best possible place. And that's the ultimate of leadership, is growing in every possible way, individually while you're giving to others. And I just want to bless you all as you go back to your positions. Many of you are from Israel, some from Cleveland, and many of you from all around the United States, Canada, and England, and wherever you're going back to, right? Wherever you're going back to. Did I miss anyone? Australia. South Africans don't care much for Australians. No, I'm just joking. No. They are a big thing in sport. We have a lot of attention with Australia, but I'm just joking. We love Australia. But I just want to say, wherever you're going back to, Israel, United States, around the United States and Canada, Australia, South Africa, England, wherever you go, give heart, body and soul. Hashem relies on each and every one of us. We are such a small Jewish people. We are so small. There are 50 million of us in a world of 8 billion. I remember having a shiur by Rabbi Wine saying, there was a movie many years ago called A Few Good Men. All God's looking for is a few good men and women. He found 2 of them in Abraham and Sarah, and found Yitzchak and Rivka. He found a family afterwards. The whole of Sefer Bereshit is about a few good men and women, the book of Bereshit. And the whole Torah is about a tiny, small nation. A nation which continues to change the world. A tiny little country which impacts in the world. There's so few of us here, 200-300 of you in this room. You are changing worlds, and you should continue to change worlds. Wherever you find yourself around the world, the position you find yourself in is a place to find a way to give to the Jewish people in the deepest possible way. To give your heart, body, and soul with absolute passion, to be deeply driven, mishudal adavar, in every possible way, heart, body, and soul, with avat halev, hanefesh, u'ma'od, everything you got, 110%. Secondly, to continue the genuine care and concern that you have for the people that you're leading, to see them, care about them, to impact their lives. And thirdly, never to lose yourself in that role, to keep growing as an individual, and wherever you find yourselves, to continue to make the biggest impact that you can, to transform the Jewish world, one person at a time and one mission at a time. Hashem to bless you all and keep up the amazing energy. As I heard Yaakov say to the staff, we're only the second Shabbos, there's still a couple of weeks to go, right? You're not even at the top of the hill yet, there's so much still to do. Go and go with that craft for Shabbat Israel. God bless you all and thank you for the